Mm. Okay, I think I nailed it. Just one more step. I think I should go it. It's okay. Excellent.
Right. So,
See, Mike. Yeah,
bring
we now on YouTube.
myself, Paul,
So,
and
okay, can you?
goes by Andy. So if you hear me saying Andy, that's probably why.
Okay.
A little more casual there.
Is
We're basically the three
your
of the
leave or not, right?
those are workshops.
Okay.
Los Angeles.
Okay, now everybody can hear me
And so
and
we have
see me,
working experience together.
right? Can you hear me? Can you hear and see me? I think there is a problem. Ah, okay. Yes, yes, you can hear me. Right. It's great. It's great. Yeah, and you're finally live on YouTube. Hello, guys, again. I'm so happy and excited to be here with you. I hope it will be a great workshop for all of us, and we will learn lots of things from each other. So let's start my screen and start the workshop. Okay. Let's make it slideshow. Okay. It's loading. Let's wait for a minute. Okay. Now I hope everybody can see my screen, right? Okay, let me check the text. Okay, yes, you can see. That's great. That's great. Yeah. Okay. Then let's start. Yeah, this is the first day of the synthetic architecture workshop, July 22, day 1. Here you can see a basic schedule of the workshop. Today, we are going to start with introduction to artificial intelligence. It will be a really short introduction. Don't worry. I'm not going to bother you with lots of theoretical knowledge. And then we'll jump to mid-journey prompt basics. And today, we will create architectural concepts in mid-journey. Tomorrow, we are going to learn advanced prompting in mid-journey. We are going to learn about settings and parameters, about image prompts and multi-prompts, and we'll expand architectural concepts in mid-journey. And on day 3, we are going to learn to use stable diffusion. We are going to learn the settings and parameters, and also we are going to learn to use control-net, which is a really powerful tool for rendering architectural concepts. And again, on stable diffusion, you'll learn about image prompts, multi-prompts, and we'll expand architectural concepts in stable diffusion and control-net. And the last day is, I think that on the last day, we can talk about our design. We can make reviews and evaluations of each other project. So I'm not going to make, the evaluation is going to be made only by me. I want you, all of you, to evaluate your project together and discuss about it. So we'll see. There's too much to cover, and I'll try to cover all of these things in 3 days. I hope I can do that. So let's start with day 1, an introduction to artificial intelligence. Until now, the standard definition of AI has been that it seeks to do what human minds can do. But that definition is clearly obsolete. AI can already outperform human beings in many areas. For example, in 1997, Deep Blue it's a computer program, beat the world chess champion Garry Kasparov. And in 2016, AlphaGo beat top player Lee Sedol at the extraordinarily complex game of Go, in which there are more potential moves than atoms in the universe. So AI is really powerful and can outperform human beings. But for example, in my childhood especially, the movies always portray AI as having a consciousness and it will take over the world, but it's not like that. At least for now, it might beat us at Go, but it doesn't even know that it's playing Go. Okay, so still human beings need to involve with AI. Yeah, and here you can see it's a, I think, 95 IBM computer. It was my first computer, having 16 kilobytes RAM. And now, after that, the progress is so fast that now 2023 is the year of AI. So in more or less 20 years, everything changed so fast. And today, all of a sudden, AI is everywhere. It's on our phones, opening them up to facial recognition, identifying friends on Facebook. It's on our computers, reminding us of meetings, finishing of sentences, translating. It's in our homes in the form of Alexa, other AI assistants, robotic floor cleaners, and so on. So it's in our daily life, AI. Yeah, and it's changing every aspect of existence, and architecture, of course, is no exception, where AI has already infiltrated the architectural office and embedded in our software tools like AutoCAD, like Photoshop. It's changing the nature of design. And the hottest topic in progressive schools and practices, today AI is the latest buzzword in architectural culture. Yeah, here you can see a brief historical timeline of technological development in architecture since 19. It started with modularity, and in 60s, computer-aided design became really important. And till 2000, computer-aided design was in the heart of architectural practice. 2000s were about parametricism, and now 2010 and 2020s are all about artificial intelligence. Yeah, we can talk about really shortly about the deep learning revolution. I think it's important. The deep term learning emerged at the turn of 2000. And image synthesis, sorry guys, yeah, here I jump out that slide. It's important because the generic term AI is very broad and it's going back to 56 and it's still used today. It's not a new term. But compare the first primitive version with the latest version, which is deep learning, would be like comparing a Model T Ford with the latest Tesla. So here in the picture, you see Frank Rosenblatt and the perceptron. It's an intelligent automation in 58, but it was a programmed learning machine where deep learning can improve by itself. And the crucial difference is that early versions of AI were programmed, whereas more recent versions of AI can learn and improve over time. So this is really important. And 2010 were the revolution for AI because deep learning emerged. And image synthesis, which we are going to learn using Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, Dolly, these all are image synthesis models. This is a field concerned with the generation of images by computers. And it has seen recent developments due to surprising results that generative adversarial networks may best exemplify. We call them GANs. In 2014, a man called Ian Goodfellow, he is a researcher, initially theorized the generative adversarial network. And these models can be trained to synthesize images that are realistic in the extreme. Here you can see some examples of the style GAN in 2018, a model able to generate a vast number of realistic human faces in high definition. This can be called as the first step for the image synthesis. And now we have DALL-E in 2021, but it was open to public in 2022. Also, this is a generative image synthesis model, but it used a different technique from GAN. It used a technique called autoregressive technique. I'm not going to dive into the details. And honestly, also, I really don't know about the technical details too much because I'm not a computer scientist. I only use these programs for architectural purposes. But here, as you can see, just typing in natural language, it can give you a really realistic and artistic images. And also, it was a breakthrough for that generative AI model. Here you can see some examples from DALL-E. For example, an armchair in the shape of avocado, or a polar bear playing a bass guitar. I think maybe the most, how can I say, useful or promising aspect of these models are to synthesize different things and give us an output that we have never seen before, like a polar bear playing a bass guitar. It's not even possible to see in the real life, right? So this is, I think, a really powerful aspect of these image synthesis models. And also, for example, in the bottom of the page, you can see some cat images. For example, the first one says a black and white lateral picture of cat staring at the window, rain outside, Paris background, focal 28mm bokeh effect, and look at that image. It's really like shot on a camera with a 28mm camera. You can see the bokeh effect. You can see in the background the Eiffel Tower, and I think it's really powerful. And in the second image, you see an oil painting of a cat staring at the window, rain outside, Paris background. Again, here you can see some tower look like Eiffel Tower, but now the composition and the medium is completely different. So I think it was shocking all that time. Yeah, there are lots of image synthesis models, and most of them work online. Here, just I put some of them. Maybe the most used ones, the most powerful ones, like Midjourney, Imagen, DALL-E, Stable Diffusion. There is also Disco Diffusion and Xcool. I haven't used Disco Diffusion or Xcool yet, but also I'm about to try them. So there are lots of image synthesis models. So if you remember, we talked about generative adversarial network, GAN. This is a really simple image showing how GANs work. Again, take a random noise. Of course, there's a training set. The first, the GAN model is trained by showing them a lot of images. And after training, there is a generator and discriminator in a GAN model. So generator takes a random noise, okay, and creates a fake image. And then this fake image And also the training set is sent to discriminator. So discriminator tries to understand if this image is fake or real. Of course, according to the training set that's sent to this discriminator. So if the image is quite good, and if the discriminator decides that it's not fake, it's real, then you see the output. So this is how GANs work. But diffusion-based generative modeling, which is used by Midjourney or Stable Diffusion or most of the image synthesis models, and also we call it latent diffusion models, are a type of image generation technique that works by iteratively denoising data in a latent representation space and then decoding the representation into a complete image. So this contrasts with other popular image synthesis models, such as generative adversarial networks and autoregressive technique. And this technique is used by Dolly. So the thing that these models do is, for example, as an input, you put the data as a cat. So it takes a cat image from the internet, diffuse it into a noise, a random noise, as you can see here, and then denoising and create a different cat according to your prompt, as you can see here. So it's called a generative denoising process. So also I want to talk about a little about ability in architecture. I think this is important. Here you see the three biggest models, we can say that if you like, Stable Diffusion, Dolly, and Midjourney. In my opinion, and I believe in lots of architects or architectural designers' opinions, Midjourney has the best ability in understanding the spatial features, the spatial effects. So I think Midjourney is really more powerful in aesthetics and creating spaces. But of course, also Stable Diffusion, I think, has lots of advantages because it gives us more control. And honestly, I don't use DALL-E too much for architectural creation because I think it's not good as Midjourney, and also it doesn't give any control to the user. I will show you the DALL-E has a really basic interface on the internet, and you can only just type the prompt. So you cannot interfere with any settings, any parameters, even you cannot change the aspect ratio of the output. You can only use 1-to-1 aspect ratio, which is a square. So I generally don't use DALL-E for architectural creation, but I use it for out painting and in painting properties. I'll show you later about that. So here you can see the difference of that model, that's their ability in architecture. Yeah. So in 2001, Ray Kurzweil said something, and I really like it because it's so accurate. He is like a fortune teller. That the artificial intelligence, he says that the artificial intelligence that will become an everyday reality when a standard computer has the same processing capacity as human brain. He says it's set for 2020, and it's true. Now we are in 2022, and really you can see more or less the situation is like that. Suggests that the coming years will bring computer programs that can produce architecture projects. So yeah, let's think about it, because now more or less the situation is like that, right? So and also
بس ممكن نوصلها بقى خلاص حلو نعمل ده.
Sorry guys, I can hear someone. I think someone might.
Yay! I got your password.
Something microphone is open. I don't know who, but can you close it? Okay, thank you. So in every technological development, we as human beings are afraid of that. Okay, come on, this technology are going to take our jobs. So you can see here on the zine, it says that AI is putting our jobs as architects unquestionably at risk. Is it so? I don't think so. Why? Because AI has the ability to design and create various types of products and solutions. And in most of the cases, can even outperform us in terms of speed and efficiency. For example, AI can quickly analyze large amounts of data and generate design options based on specific criteria. And it can generate much more design alternatives than a human being. Also, it can learn from past designs and improve upon over the time. But okay, however, it's still important to note that AI is not yet able to fully replicate the creativity and intuition of a human designer. So while AI can assist in the design process, it's still important for human designers to be involved in the overall creative process. And here you can see an example of Zaha Hadid architects. Now today I know they use AI in their architectural office, in their architectural projects very efficiently. And even Zaha Hadid has died, the architectural office is still making lots of projects all over the world. And so their job is not at risk. I think on the contrary, they're being so famous about using that latest technology. Yeah, and now with the rise of AI, I think there's a really important shift in design thinking. And there's a quote from Marshall McLuhan. He's a media theorist I really like. He says that we become what we behold. We shape our tools, and thereafter our tools shape us. And this is so true. So now I think we have to rearrange our thinking, our design process according to these new developments, because the progress in that AI tool points a really important shift from analytical way of design to a synthetic way of design. So, which means AI gives us an infinite set of solutions. In minutes, it can give us really lots of different solutions. And now the role of designer, I think, becomes decision making. Yeah, it becomes of critical importance, I think. Yeah, and I think for us today, there are hard skills and soft skills. Of course, hard skills are important to learn that AI software, to learn the tools, techniques, resources. But I think soft skills are becoming more important with that shift, because everybody can learn that hard skill, like learning the software and tools, but everyone cannot learn artistic vision and creativity or decision making. So I think artistic vision and creativity, decision making, problem solving, and especially a growth mindset is really important, because it changed so quickly that you cannot say that, okay, I learned that and now I can use this. I don't have to learn anything else. It's not like that, because you learn something, you go to sleep, and you wake up in the morning, and you said that there's lots of new things. Lots of things change. So growth mindset and constant learning, I think, really, really important. AI, learning AI sometimes seem easy, but I think it's not about creating beautiful images. It's about finding meaningful ways to use it. I think it's like, okay, like Midjourney makes image synthesis, and it brings diverse images. And I think also for us, it's important to bring diverse elements to construct a new meaning or idea. When you construct a new meaning or a new idea using that tool, I think that's the important point. So I think the most important thing when designing with AI, to search for new meanings, to search for new ideas. I think that's the point for us. Okay, guys, and good news. The introduction part is over, and now we're starting with Midjourney kickoff. I'm going to show you the presentation. But after the presentation, we can make a demonstration. I can open the Discord and show there also, and then you can ask your questions if you like. Okay, mute your microphone, mute themselves. Okay, I just checked the text messages from you. Yeah, let's start with Midjourney kickoff. Yeah, again we start with philosophy. I think it's really important. Without a philosophy, I think it doesn't have any meaning to learn something. So I'm always start with the philosophy of something. This is a quote from Stuart Russell. I heard this quote from Joshua Vermillion, by the way. He used it in one of his presentations, and goes like that. This is essentially the old story of the genie in the lamp, or the sorcerer's apprentice, or King Midas. You get exactly what you ask for, not what you want. And I think this is really important. So we need to find a way to ask for, because it doesn't always turn like something we want. Remember the story of the genie in the lamp. Yeah, okay, and this is Dunning-Kruger effect curve. I really like that. I think this goes with every new thing we learn. Dunning-Kruger says that in the beginning, about a topic that we don't know, when we know nothing, we are really confident. Like, yeah, okay, this is easy. I can do that. And I think especially for Midjourney or Stable Diffusion or this kind of image synthesis models, people are like that. Okay, it's so easy. Everyone can do that. You just type in it and give you output. So they call that this point as the peak Cupid cell. Then this confidence decrease, and suddenly you find yourself in the valley of despair, because you say that, wow, it doesn't so easy as I thought before. So you start, I think, trying your more important thing. When you explore, you watch other people, what they are doing, you try again, and okay, so now your experience increases, and you learn, and now again your confidence increases. And I think it really applies to AI too. Sorry. Okay, let's start. I think all of you know that you can use Midjourney on Discord. So there isn't a go on Discord, have a Discord account and invite the Midjourney bot and chat with it. I'll show you also in a little demonstration. Okay, let's talk about comments. There are comments in Midjourney. You can think like, say, like it's like in AutoCAD, also in AutoCAD we have a command line, so it more or less resembles it. And the most important basic command is imagine. So you put slash imagine, as you can see here, and then type your text prompt. Commands are used to create images, change settings, and monitor user info, and perform other helpful tasks. So imagine is not the only command. So you can write info, and you can write, change, see, and change your default settings. Yeah. Okay. So it's like that. So with imagine. Okay. And then you hit enter. Then Midjourney bot takes about a minute to generate 4 options. When you give it a prompt, it will always generate you 14 minutes. It has its own GPU. So you pay Midjourney for see if you don't have a good GPU, for example, it's really painstaking. Sorry. So each time some of the GPUs after the variation, after the initial we have finished and D3 and D4, U is for upscale and V for variation. So, for example, if you like the first image, you can upscale it, or there. You see the reroll button. In this case, it's from the original prompt, producing a new grid of images. Version 5.2, there are some new features with version 5, like the right strong or the right subtle, zoom out, and panning
Can see your
options.
screen.
We can see the screen in voice.
Somebody
Turn on screen sharing.
something, I think. Excuse me? I cannot hear.
Hi.
Did somebody ask me for something?
Yes, I
Can
asked
see
you
the
to
screen.
turn on screen
Again,
sharing.
let's check. Can you hear? Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can hear you, but you
But
cannot
you can't
see the screen.
stop the say. Sharing the screen again. Can you see? Yeah. Guys, can you see the screen now? No.
Oh, not yet.
Okay, what? See? When it's loading, loading. Still loading. I don't know why.
Sayed Samra, please mute your microphone, please.
Okay, I think now I'm going to find. Yeah, can you see? Okay, guys, I'm going to change my place. Maybe it's because my place. So let's give just a 5-minute break. And after 5 minutes, I will be there again. Is it okay for everybody? Okay, perfect. Okay, see you in 5 minutes. I'm changing my place. Okay.
that we've been exploring a lot lately with also starting to produce composites of biomaterials with other types of materials. And in this particular case, we were considering the idea that not everything needs to be fully biodegradable, and that although it's like a really intriguing idea to replace single-use plastics, and that is one particular use case, it doesn't or perpetuate an idea that we want to continually produce things just to throw it out, and you don't have to feel bad about it.
Please follow for me, please.
Action would be to keep things, or at least be able to keep portions of things and reuse them
Guys,
without processing.
could you turn off
So-
your microphone?
Actually,
I think some microphones are turned on. So, okay, let's check now if everything is okay. I'll again share my screen. Okay, can you see now? Let's check the test. Okay, yes, it's clear now. Great. Okay, is anyone's microphone is turned on? Because I'm hearing my voice constantly. Okay, one slide back. Said Noelia. Okay, is it that was a slide? No, the first, the previous, this one. Okay, guys, please just let me check whose microphone is open, because I'm constantly hearing my voice and it's so disturbing. No, everyone's microphone is turned off. Ah, okay. It's, I think, because of the live stream. Okay. Okay. Now we can start again. Yeah, okay. So I think here it's okay, right? To imagine comments. So may I go to that slide? Yes. Okay. Yeah. What we said last week? Yeah. We just put our text prompt to the command line. And then Midjourney bot takes about a minute to generate 4 options, as you can see here. And when you purchase a subscription, you are purchasing the time on these GPUs. There are some powerful graphic processing units, so you don't need to have a powerful computer with a powerful GPU. Sorry, guys. I think also my video was turned off. Okay. Yeah. So let's go forward. Yeah, and then after the initial image grid has finished generating, 2 rows of buttons appear, as you can see here. The first row of the buttons are U1, U2, U3, U4, and the second row is V buttons like V1, V2, V3, and V4. U is for upscale and V4 is variation. So, for example, if you like the first image here, you can press to U1 and it will create an upscale version of that first image. Or, for example, you like the first image, but you want to make some slight change, you can press V1 button, and again, it will generate 4 new variations of that first image. Or here is a reroll button, like refreshing button. It's called reroll. It reruns the job. So if you don't like, for example, any of the images, you can press the reroll button and it will rerun the original prompt and producing a new grid. Again, a new 4 images. And according to your subscription, you can make, for example, if you're paying $30, you can make infinite variations or reroll. It's up to you. Yeah, and Midjourney V5.2 has some new features. Before Midjourney V5, it changed so fast. It adds new features every day. These new features are very strong, very subtle. So you can make 2 different types of variations. So these are 2 variations modes. But if you don't upscale an image, you cannot use that. So if you upscale the image, you can use 2 different variation modes, like very strong and very subtle. Or you can use some zoom options, like zoom out 2 times, zoom out 1.5 times, or custom zoom. And also you can make square from your images. And here you have some pan options, like you can pan left, right, up or down, like that. I will show you all of that properties later more detailedly. Yeah, what is very strong and subtle? It's like that. You can see here, this image is one of the images I upscale in Midjourney. And then if I press very strong, you can see this even the direction of the building changed right here. So it makes a strong variation, strongly different from the initial one, but of course still it has some same characteristics like color, like the material, but the composition is quite different. When you press the very subtle button, if you can see here, there are really minimal change on that output, right? For example, look, the building is more or less the same. The angle of the photograph is same. There are some minor changes in the composition. Yeah, I think this is important. Let's talk about a little about MJ version, Midjourney version. So in March 2022, Midjourney version 1 was released, and everybody was like, wow, that's great. I'm just typing a text and it gives me super cool images. But in April, just 1 month later, Midjourney version 2 was released, and it was much powerful than the first one, according to making more coherent images. And in July, Midjourney V3 was realized. And V3, I think, was a game changer. Yeah, I'll show you some examples. It was much more better than previous versions. And in October 2022, Midjourney V4 was released, and it was also a game changer, because this time V3 was good at making coherent and artistic images, but V4 was really good at making photorealistic images. Yeah, it was really good at that. And then now we have Midjourney V5.2. In March 2023, it was released, and I think it was updated a little bit to be more good at photorealism. But these are generally the versions. So you can see here, I tried a prompt like a portrait of a 2-year-old brunette baby boy, whimsical watercolor illustrations with soft blended colors and loose brushstrokes. So you can see the result in different Midjourney versions. Version 1 is okay. It gives something according to my prompt, but you can see that there is some issues with here, for example, with the nose of the boy. Here he has 3 eyes, or here one eye is bigger, one smaller, one is black and one is blue. Okay, so also in Midjourney V2, it's a little bit better, but it's still not the thing I want. And when I come to Midjourney V3, it's a little better, but still it doesn't give me that the artistic vibe. And yeah, come V4 is the game changer. You can see it's such a detail, it's such a realistic, even if it's a watercolor illustration, it seems really photorealistic. And V5 and V5.1, again, these versions give really coherent and photorealistic images. So here you can see the change, right? Yeah, but I think it doesn't mean that, okay, V5 is better than V3. No, it's not like that. It doesn't go like that. I think you can choose from that version according to the output you want. For example, here you can see the same prompt with different Midjourney versions. For example, in Midjourney V5, it gives me a photorealistic image that I think is really successful. But also in Midjourney V4, it gives me a photorealistic images. But you can here see the difference between the texture, the material. For example, I think V5 is better in understanding these materials and textures. But Midjourney V4, I think, for example, as you can see in that example, gives me a better angle of photo, I think, and different effects. And Midjourney V3, I think I sometimes still use it because it gives some more sketchy, more dreamlike, and I think creative output like that, for example. Here again, there's a comparison between V4 and V3. V4 understands the space, the architecture better than V3. I think you can see it here. But also, you have an option to blend this output. So here, what I did, I like that Midjourney V4 output. especially. But also I like this mid-journey V3 output because it colors the fluidity, and then I blend them to produce something new. And I think it's also a powerful way to create new concepts. Yeah, here again you can see, for example, the prompt was a parametric architectural concrete building in the style of Zaha Hadid with fluid forms and large windows in Istanbul city background. Here you can see that, okay, V4 produces a more realistic image. Also the materials, right, these glasses, the concrete facade, also the materials are really photorealistic. But V3, I think, gives more creative, we can say, more interesting or more sketchy, more dreamlike, that open some images that are open to reimagine, I think. So also, still you can use, if you like this kind of images, V3. Yeah, so let's start with, I think, important tips with Midjourney. The first thing I can say is that shorter prompts are easier to control. Yeah, so very short prompts will rely heavily on Midjourney's default style. So a more descriptive prompt is better for a unique look. Okay, but however, super long prompts aren't always better. So I think the best way is to concentrate on the main concept you want to create. Remove words when possible, because fewer words mean each word has a more powerful influence. So if you write a super long prompt, first, you cannot understand the effects of that lots of words on the output. So now you are learning something. So I think it's important to understand the effects of words on the output. So this is the first thing. And the second thing is, in super long prompts, there are so many words. So think like that. Your prompt, if your prompt has a 100%, and if you have 5 words in that prompt, every word will have a 20% effect. But if you have a super long prompt and lots of words, each word, the power of each word will decrease. So I think this is really important. So don't forget that shorter prompts are always easier to control. So you can use comma, brackets, hyphens to organize your thoughts, but Midjourney bots cannot interpret them. So a comma is nothing for Midjourney, but we use it for ourselves to help organize our thoughts. Yeah, here is an example. This is someone's prompt from Midjourney. Yeah, it has a sci-fi robot. We see a red one. And look at that prompt. Ooh, it's super long. I have never used such a long prompt before. And if you start to read, you can see lots of words are, you can see 2 times, 3 times are used. Okay, I try it with a really short prompt, and I think the result is more or less the same. So you don't need to rely on such super long prompts. Yeah, of course, the second important thing, using short prompts is important, but also using specific is really important. So if you be specific and less general, you will see unique output. Okay. Midjourney bot doesn't understand grammar, so sentence structure or words like humans, but word choice matters. More specific synonyms work better in most circumstances. For example, instead of big, try gigantic. More general the word, more varied training images are being used to train AI. What I mean, if you say architecture, think about that. If you write architecture to Google it, you see millions of images. And think about that. These images are training images being used to train the AI model. And if you say architecture, it will choose some aspects from these millions of images, and it will give you such chaotic and generic images. More specific the word, the more similar training images will be. For example, if you say, for example, Murano glass, so Google it, you see some images really more similar than the word architecture, right? So, because when you say architecture, there are millions and millions different images from each other. Here you can see, if you say architecture or contemporary architecture or modernist architecture, you see this kind of crazy images. For example, I like this example. If I say to Midjourney a bubblegum house, it gives me that pink generic house with bubblegum on the facade and on the roof. But if I say a bubblegum house contemporary architecture, it gives me an image is more architectural. Yeah, right? Because I said contemporary architecture. But if you can see in that example, it doesn't look like a bubblegum, right? It's only pink. So, but if I say a white chalk facade of a contemporary architectural bubblegum house in grass, designed by Peter Cook, biomorphic and organic volumes, made from inflated latex cells, soft and natural daylight, warm light inside, within arc daily architectural photography, and dash AR 3 to 4. And this is aspect ratio parameters. I will talk about these parameters later. So I can have more unique output like that, okay? Because it's customized, right? It's designed, for example, it's designed by Peter Cook. It's in graph. I define the volume. I define the material. I define the light. So, okay, it's a more customized, right? A more unique image. So, if you write a bubblegum house, you see that output. But if you become more specific, you can create some more unique output. Yeah. So let's go on with anatomy of a prompt in Midjourney. I think this is really important. Okay, so this sentence structure is something that I created after trying so much different styles. So I usually do it like that. First goes the subject and the description of that subject, style and context of the subject. Here you can see. So this is the thing I want is a floating tall house with one-sided trapezoid-shaped opening. Here you can see a double column and two. Don't look at that. I'll explain later. Also, this is a way for prompt way in our background. So this is the first thing. What I want. What is the subject? What is the main description of it? Its geometry, right? Its volume, its style, and what is the context? For example, most of the time I use the real places, like for example Obertraum. Obertraum is a small village in Austria, Hallstatt. It has a really beautiful lake surrounded by mountains, like that. So it really look like Obertraum, this image. So okay, this is the first thing generally I write. Of course, you maybe don't pick that this sentence structure. But first, I think start with that. And when you try yourself, maybe you can find some better ways to work for you. I don't know, but this is the best I found until now. Okay, then goes surface and material. For example, here I put it simple, like timber materiality. And then contemporary Nordic architecture. Yeah, also this is the style, okay, of the subject. So sometimes I mix that word between the sentence. And then visual style of the image. Okay, now I describe my subject. Now I need to describe my visual style of the image. So, okay, I write beautiful Obertraum Lake HD photography, Arc Daily architectural photography, and then now I need to define the lighting and atmosphere and the mood. Also, this really affects the output. And I want it to be a serene morning and natural light, like that. Then I have some enhancer words. These enhancer words really, I think, work better with the previous version. But now in Midjourney 5.2, you don't need some enhancer words like photorealistic, like deep, super detailed, blah blah blah. But for example, ray tracing reflections, I think works good. Here you can see the reflections. For example, I give it here some enhancer words like 80, 50 millimeters ray tracing reflections. And lastly goes the MJ parameters. We are going to learn the parameters and settings tomorrow in the second session of the workshop. But this is, for example, for aspect ratio, that's AR 3 to 4. Here again, another example. Here, for example, usually if I want a wall picture of a building, if I want to see the wall, I write a wide elevational shot. Usually I use that because if you don't say that, it can give you some close-up shots, or I don't know, it can crop some parts of the building. I usually use that. So if you want a close-up shot, you can also write close-up shot. If you want an afar view, you can write an afar view. So I think this is the importance to tell the MJ the frame, the composition you like. Is it a wide, a wall shot? It's a close-up. It's a far. Is it an elevation? Is it an bird view? You can use all of that word. Of an archigram building, for example, here I keep it really simple. Just write archigram building and define the surface and material, a complex exterior made from translucent and inflated latex membrane. For enhancer words, I just use extremely coherent. And for visual style of the image, I use analog photography and Hasselblad camera, and use some parameters like aspect ratio, stylization, and version, like that. Here, the important thing is you can see, look at that image, and Hasselblad camera is a retro camera type, and I said analog photography, so you can see that effect on the image. Not just on the visual style of the image, but also the style of the building, I think. For example, let me check another example. Yeah, I think I'm gonna show it later. Okay, again, another example. Here, again, see, I use the phrase a wall frame. For example, here I use a wide elevational shot, here a wall frame. You can try differently. A sculptural modern art museum designed by Thomas Hadervik in Oslo. Facade made from tulle and feathers, rich surfaces, clear design features, elegant, soft light, clear winter sky, people walking down the street, architectural photography, and AR 4 to 5 and V5. And this is the result. So you can see, I didn't write snow anywhere, but I said Oslo, and I said clear winter sky. So if it's winter and if it's Oslo, mid-journey into Prestet, there must be some snow. Yeah, another one. This is an interior image. I again kept it really simple. A mesmerizing millennium pink fluid spatial installation made from latex membrane in a tall and vast gallery space, volumetric and ambient lighting, mysterious people, and again an aspect ratio parameter. Yeah, and it goes like that. Also, this is another example. I will show you this example, the workflow of this example. Yeah, and another one. For example, here again, let me check. Yeah, again, I used a real location like Paris. I think using a real location really influences your output in a good way. Or another one. Oh, here I try to use some basic design concepts like series and sequences, rhythm, assembly, and I think without using. Also, I tried without using these words, but with these words, I think it was better, the output. So I used them, and of course, I showed you some prompt examples, but these images, these outputs are not the first output I took from Midjourney. It was not like that. I tried the prompt really more than maybe 20 times. I edit the prompt if I don't like the result, and when I'm sure that okay, this prompt is okay now and the results look okay, so I start b-rolling and re-rolling. So the progress goes like that. It's not like just writing the prompt and okay, this is great and I think it's not like that. I'm going to show you about that workflow. Yeah, and the third thing I recommend you think about what details matter. You can also find, for example, this text on Midjourney's website. By the way, I forgot to tell you that the best resource for the Midjourney is Midjourney's official Getting Started document. So you can go on the website and find it. There is the explanation of all of the parameters, how you are going to do it. It's really a comprehensive guide. So this is the best resource, I think, you should use. And also the Midjourney's Discord channel. There are some topics there, like prompt facts, for example. Also, you can go to the Discord and then read the Midjourney channel, so you can learn lots of things from there. Okay. Also, this is on. I took this from the Midjourney document. It says that think about what details matter, like subject, person, animal, character, location, anything, medium, photo, painting, illustration, environment, lighting, color, mood, and composition. Like we talked about it, portrait, headshot, close-up, bird eye view. It can be anything like that. But if we think about it in terms of architecture, because we are trying to use MJ for architectural concepts, the first important thing I think is the shape and the volume. So to create the shape and volume, what we do, we first define the program of that building or that space. Okay, is it a museum? Is it a house? It's a hotel? What's it? What's the problem? So then the geometric characteristics are important, right? Is it organic? Is it geomorphic? I don't know. Is it tall? Or also the style, right? The style is really important. Is it modernist? Is it contemporary, Gothic? I don't know, lots of things. Art Nouveau. And also, I think it's a good way to involve a designer, artist, or architect, like who designed that building. It doesn't have to be also an architect. You can try to use some artists, some other kind of designers. If they design a building, how it would be. So I think also it works really good. And also define location of the building, because location of the building also influence the shape and volume of that building. I tried it lots of times, and yeah, it influences. And then what's important, another thing, surface and material. So first, describe the material, describe the characteristics of the material, and describe the geometrical characteristics of the surfaces, like textures, patterns. Also, this is important. And then goes lighting, atmosphere, and frame and visual style. These are, of course, same with the, I don't know, other types of creations, not for just architectural creation. But shape and volume, surface and material, it's really a core, should be core of the prompt. But lighting and atmosphere also affects that output. So you can describe the lighting, describe the atmosphere and mood, which time of the day, which season, who is using the space. I think these are also important details. And lastly, the frame and visual style. For example, you can try vertical format frame, try horizontal format frame, and you'll see a lot of difference, not only on your image, but also the design of that space or building, whatever you're designing. Also, you see a really dramatic change in the form in different aspect ratios, format frames. So also you can simulate a camera, a lens, invoke a photographer, and define the composition. So I think this details I show you, right, with the in the sentence structure, these details really matter. Yes, and let's jump to the mid-journey workflow. So remember, this was the bubblegum house. This was the starting point. Bubblegum house, contemporary architecture. So here you put the text prompt. Then you have three options. Output can be super. It doesn't happen. Yeah. The first time I never found a super output, but maybe you can, I don't know. Or it can be good, or it can be bad. If it's bad, go back and revise your prompt. If it's good, you can remix and edit your prompt. Okay. If it's super, just upscale and below. But usually the first text prompt always turns out bad. So I go back, revise the prompt, and then this starts again. So I revise my prompt until I see good or super output. Okay, I revise it. Then, okay, assume that I found a good output. Okay, so now I remix and edit my prompt. I will show you how to remix. Okay, if it goes back, again I go back and revise my prompt. If it goes good, again I remix and edit my prompt. If it goes super, okay, it's super. I upscale it, but I don't just stop there, because I know if I V-roll it, if I make lots of variations, I can find something better than that. Okay, keep V-rolling. I keep V-rolling. If it goes better, I keep V-rolling. But there is a point. It stops going better and it starts going worse. Okay, then I stop there and I choose the best one. And okay, these are final outputs. Then you can Photoshop them, or you can paint them in Dolly, or you can change, for example, the color material in Stable Diffusion Control Net, anything. But this is the workflow for mid-journey. Yeah, here is an example. This was my start point. You can see on the left. And next, you can see the end point. You see the difference, right? These two outputs are really different from each other. So, okay, let's start with my raw prompt. A intricately stacked and iteratively interlocked apartment unit towers, lots of glass, modern architecture, extremely coherent, wide shot, volumetric lighting, architectural photography, and aspect ratio. Okay, here you see the example. Too dark. I didn't like the darkness. It's too tall. There is lots of glass. I didn't want it to be like a mirror. There is something wrong with my prompt. So let's try to edit it. For example, okay. There was too much glass. It was too mirrory. So I just throw out lots of glass. Okay, with the same prompt. Okay, but now again, I didn't like it. They are not iteratively stacked and interlocked. I'm imagining about some cubic shapes. For example, here are some organic shapes I didn't like. I didn't like the lighting here. I didn't like the composition. No, it's not what I want. So again, I put back lots of glass because there is no glass. I put it back, and also I add by the river. Maybe it can, with reflections, it can give something that I imagined, but still it's not like what I want. So I go back. For example, these images are, I think, too dark, and I try to put some warm light inside. And these are here. I can see some glass, but I can't see any structure, and decided that I want a black steel frame between the glasses, and I decided that I want some warm light inside to light the building. Okay, I think it's now going better, but still I didn't like it. They are not iteratively interlocked like I want. So I throw out the intricately, and I just say a city of iteratively stacked and interlocked. I think looks better, but it is not still what I want. But I give it a try, and I make some rerolls. Sorry, I didn't put here the rerolls. Okay, anything doesn't important because I didn't like them. So again, I did my prompt, and I thought that it was a problem with saying STT. So I just throw out STT, and I said a wide shot of intricately stacked and iteratively interlocked apartment unit towers. Now I said during dawn, because I didn't like it to be so much dark. Now it's better during dawn, and I also add within. I changed the aspect ratio, but now with that aspect ratio, I didn't like the form. So again, I changed my aspect ratio and said, okay, this prompt works good. Here, I like something, for example, in that first image. So I can go with that image. This is my final prompt now. And then I made lots of variations. I tried different variations, and finally I found two outputs I like, and these were the final outputs. So okay, so there is somewhere that you can stop, and these were okay for me, and I stopped there, and these were the final outputs, and then I a little bit change that prompt and try to make the interior spaces of that housing unit like that, and the project was okay. So another one, this looks really simple, but I really like it because it looks too architecturally all the details. at the end point. I start with that point. For example, I wrote down the prompt and it gave me that result, but I didn't like them, so I ended with that image. Yeah. So this was the prompt. A Dior retail store in Paris, fluffy inflated material facade, natural light, octane render people, and fashion photography. Okay, I tried lots of times, and then yes, okay, I liked one of them, this one. I like that the composition, the opening, the form that it's between that two classic buildings. But of course, there are lots of problems here. It's not architecturally right. The patterns are not symmetric, are not repetitive. Here, what's happening with the door, so it has some problems. So I upscale it first and then re-roll lots of times like that. Still, I don't have the things in my mind, so I again upscale the ones I like and re-roll them again. You here have some issues with that opening, with the door. For example, with that inflated material here, this looks like a tester sofa, so few problems. But okay, finally here, after lots of upscale zeros and zeros, I find it here. It has a symmetrical, a recognizable pattern. Now you can see these openings are more meaningful and coherent with that inflated structure. So okay, I found it. This is the one, and then I took the image and also outpainted in Dolly, because you can see here this space here, it's too small in the sky, so I wanted to make it a little bit bigger. Then I photoshopped it, and this is the final result, for example. Yeah, okay, now before the exercise, if you have questions, I can take your questions, guys. You can write if you want from the chat. And let me switch off the light. It's evening here in Turkey. Yeah, guys, do you have any questions? Explanation of zero. Number of responses the same in each shared code. Okay, I will explain v-roll and re-roll. I will make a demonstration in Midjourney, but I didn't understand the question of Agil. Is the number of responses the same for each shared code? What do you mean with code? The same code. What do you mean by the code? I didn't understand the code. Prompt. Yeah, the number of responses. When you give it a prompt, it will always give you four images. Okay, always. And even if you write the same prompt every time, it will give you a different output. I can show you now. can we use the same prompt structure for other mediums, for example, product design? Yeah, Michelle, of course you can use. I also use a similar sentence structure, prompt structure for product design. Also, I can show some examples later. Okay, when you're asking questions, let me open Discord and make a demonstration. Okay, guys, can you see my Discord screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, so here, if you subscribe to Midjourney, for example, basic subscription, minimum basic subscription, here you'll find Midjourney bot in direct messages. So you can click on it and you can directly chat with Midjourney bot like that. Also, you can, for example, let's do that. This is our channel, Synthetic Architecture Discord channel. Here, let's invite app directory. Yes, app. Subscribe Midjourney bot. Yeah, here I found it. I click add to server. So I'm now adding the Midjourney bot to our server. I say authorize. It asks me if I'm a human. Yeah, okay, now I can go to synthetic architecture. Okay, now Midjourney is invited and added to our server. We can also use here, but if you are subscribed user, you can select the direct chat, then Midjourney bot, and here you can use it. But now I'm going to use it in our server like that. There is no difference. For example, okay, slash. Let's do something different than images. For example, if I write slash settings and hit enter and hit enter again, here you can see the default settings and I can change them from here. I'm also going to show this tomorrow. Or I can write info, hit enter. Okay, it says, okay, this is my info. My subscription plan is standard. Visibility mode is public. This is my test time remaining, lifetime usage, relaxed usage, and job. Okay, so also you can see something like that. Or you can write here subscribe if you need to subscribe Midjourney like that. Okay, hit enter. Then if you click this manage account, it will leave Discord and direct you to the website. Now I'm not going. Okay, so let's start with Imagine. So I write it Imagine. Okay, when I write Imagine and press space, it says prompt here. So now I can write anything I want. For example, what we say. For example, a white shot of a tree house building designed by Antonio Gaudi, Thomas Adderich. Let's say architectural photography. Oops, I send it. I didn't finish my prompt. So here also you can say app, cancel job. Okay, now let's start again. A white shot of a treehouse building designed by Antonio Gaudi and Thomas Adderich. Architectural photography. let's say in Amsterdam, architectural photography, natural daylight. For example, we can say architectural photography by Helene Fine. Natural daylight and AR 3 to 4. And there is a parameter called style roll, but I'll tell about parameters tomorrow. So ignore the parameters now. Because I'm now showing you how you can send your text prompt to Midjourney and how you make V-rolls and re-rolls, variations and re-rolls. Yeah, now you can see that it started from a noise, random noise, and now it's denoising, it's diffusing. These are diffusion-based models. So step by step, it's diffusing and creating the image. Yeah, it says here the percentage. It's quite fast. Yeah, I think in less than 1 minute, it created the images. Yeah, like that. So you can also open from the web and zoom in to see the images. Yeah, for example, let's say that I like this third one, this one. But for example, I didn't like that this meaningless stripe here. Of course, there are some problems, but generally I like that image. I like the form. I like it's on the corner like that. Here is a building. Okay, let's say I like this one. Okay, so if I like this one, but I don't like too much, I want some variation, I can press here V3. Or okay, let's say that I didn't like any of the images. Let's start with that. If I didn't like any of the images, I can press this one. Okay, this is reroll. So reruns my job. It reruns the same prompt. Okay, but it will give different outputs, different images. Yeah, again, here you can see the percentage. It started from a random noise. Now it's denoising, it's diffusing the image. Now I am on the fast mode. As you can see, here it's written fast. I can show you like that. If you write slash setting, hit enter 2 times. Here you can see fast mode, relax mode, and turbo mode. Turbo mode is new. Before V5, we didn't have turbo mode. There were only fast mode and relax mode. Fast mode means, as you can guess, that it generates the images really fast. But okay, it has a cost, of course. So if you subscribe, it says that, for example, the standard subscription that I have gives me 15 hours, fast hours. And if I use all of my fast hours, I can use it with relax mode. I don't have a image quota, but I have a fast mode quota. So this means that I think turbo mode I didn't use it. I think it generates more and more fast, but I think we don't need because it generates this 4 images less than 1 minute. So fast mode, I think it's okay. So let's also see that one. You can say open in browser to zoom in. Yeah, this one I think looks cool. I didn't like the other one. Anyway, close it. Okay, now go back. I re-roll it. So I go back because I think this has the potential, D3. So now I can re-roll it. I can make variations of this third image, like, okay, D3. Now it's again processing my graph. Yeah, it's taking some time. Okay, when it's creating the image, let's see what's left. I can check to check. Okay, could we choose the version of MJ that we want to use? Camila Perez, yes, you can. Okay, I'll show you now. Again, if we want to change part of the image, is it possible to modify part of the output, or will this change be complete? Again, yeah, we cannot modify a part of the output. It will change the image completely. But if you want to change part of the images, you can use Stable Diffusion or DALL-E in painting mode. I will show you, but they are not so effective. Yes, you can use, you can choose the MJ version like that. Slash settings again. Okay, enter. Here you see, also they changed this. Also, back then it was like all you could see all the versions here, but now they changed it like that. Yeah, you can change here V1, V2, V3, V4, Niji model V4, V5, Niji V5. Oh, very Niji V5, 5.1 and 5.2. So if I click, for example, like that, V4, now you see current suffix --V4. You see that after your prompt, and it means that you are producing an image in V4. So you can use from here. Okay, let's again put it back to that. Okay, and close that setting. Okay, now what I did is to make variations of this third one here, this one, and then let's check. Yeah, you see. Okay. As you can see, they have some similarity, but they are completely different. Also, the composition of the photograph, the angle of the photograph, the forms are different, like that. So I think I answered the question about reroll and v-roll, right? And let's make another thing. Let's say that I like that this third image so much. So I just press U3. So it means that I'm upscaling it. Yeah, so I upscale it. Yeah, see? This is now upscale. I can vary strong or vary subtle. I like it. Let's say so I want to vary subtle, maybe. So just little change. So let's see what will happen. Yeah, now it's making it's generating variations by making little subtle changes to the original upscale image. Yeah. Here I have the subtle variations. Here you can see the composition of the image stays same, right? Only some details are changed, like that. Here also the building in the background is changed. You can see, right? So the journey is not a rendering program. So every time you made a change in the prompt or you make a variation, even if you make a subtle variation, you can see that there are some changes like that. Look, these buildings in the background are even not the same. So here you can see the result like that. Here I have variation. I can choose one of them. Again, I can upscale or we can provide a free trial now. Okay. Preventative. You should be subscribed to use Midjourney. So if you are not subscribed, guys, to Midjourney, you cannot use. Okay. Now, yes, Praven, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correct. I'm sorry. You can vary strong, so and then let's check what's happening. And by the way, I can check if there's any question. If you have any questions, you can ask, guys. I can answer your questions. Yeah, okay. Generation is finished. Yeah, and now you can see that the outputs are more varied, like that. More or less, maybe it has a similar modulation, yeah, a similar material, but the composition of the photograph and also the forms of the buildings are quite varied, right? Like that. So again, let's say I didn't like any of them. This is still my favorite, but I wanted to be a far view, so I can zoom out if I like. For example, zoom with 1.5. So let's wait and see what happens. Zoom and pen features are completely new features and they work really well. So you see, this is exactly the same building. Here you can see, just zooming out. So this is something like out painting in dollies. Also, I will show this. I will show the outpainting in Dolly after this. But the difference is like that. You can outpaint. It means that zoom out, something like zoom out, not zoom out, but outpaint and any image you like in Dolly. You can just upload the image to Dolly and you can outpaint it. But in Midjourney, you cannot outpaint another image that was not created in Midjourney. So here you can only zoom out the images that you generate in Midjourney. Yeah, let's check. So you see that it's exactly the same building. Here, exactly the same building, right? You see, this is exactly the same, but you can see that, for example, it puts a building here because this area was out of the frame. So again, it gives you 4 generations. And again, you can, for example, here you can see the fence, but here there's no fence. Here, for example, here you have a tree, but here you don't have. So again, it gives you 4 alternatives. Yes, Praveen has an issue with subscription. So if anyone faces the same issue, maybe you can share with Praveen and try to solve that problem, maybe. Yeah, and let's see Dolly. For example, I outpainted that image in Dolly. So let me find that the original image and we'll try it again. I'll stop sharing my screen now. First, I'll find the image. Oops. Okay. Go document. To back. Yeah, I found it. Okay. So let's share my screen again. To use Dolly, I'll go and write Dolly here. Okay, you can say try Dolly like that if you open another. So lab.openai.com. So this is the interface of the Dolly, and it's really simple. It didn't have any setting and any parameter. It's just like that. You can type here some text prompt and hit generate. Or the second choice, you can upload an image to edit. So I say upload. Okay. Choose my image. It's in desktop. This image is an image that I made in Stable Diffusion. I don't want it cropped, so I say skip cropping. Okay. And also here I can see the resolution of the images because Stable Diffusion uses so much RAM. I generally produce low resolution images like that. Here I click that tick. Okay, now it's placed. Here you see the generation frame. So I can put this generation frame anywhere you like. So for example, I really like the texture and format that's building, but it's a cropped building. So I don't want it to be cropped. I want it to see its entrance, its surroundings. So I place my generation frame like that. Okay, now I want a composition. I want that building to be in, for example, New York. So let's start. Geomorphic, let's say, because it's like that. Geomorphic museum building in New York City. So let's hit generate and wait for the result, what it's going to make. So this is called out painting. Here you can see the generation. Wow, now, yes, okay, it created something. It's not that, right? Here you can see the entrance. So again, also Dolly, when you give a text prompt or use an image like that, gives you again 4 alternatives. So this is the first one. By pressing that arrow, I can see the second. Wow, this is really bad. Okay, it even doesn't like an entrance. I didn't like it. Also, I didn't like it. Oh, this one is, I think, the weirdest one. I really didn't like it, but this one is quite okay. So I can say accept, and here, by pressing that arrow button, I can download it. Now it's downloaded. I don't know why DALL-E made this, but even if you pay for it, this DALL-E puts this symbol to all of the generations, but it's not important. You can see this building when you zoom in, a little bit chaotic, but okay. If you look for generally, I think it's not bad. Okay. So this is how you can make out painting. For example, I could also make this alteration with Midjourney zoom out feature, but I didn't generate this image in Midjourney, so I couldn't. It was made in Stable Diffusion, so I had to use DALL-E. And also there is an in-painting tool that someone asked if we can change just one, for example, part of the image. And in Midjourney, I said no. But here you can do it, for example, like that. Now you can press that eraser button. Now it's activated. So I can zoom out the image. Here I can select the area of I erase. For example, I didn't like the small gap here. So let's erase them and let's try. It is a white undulated, right? It's a white undulated facade material. And let's hit generate and wait for the result. Yeah, now you can see here that progress bar. Here in DALL-E, you don't see the diffusion process. And also the DALL-E is not working by, it's not a latent diffusion model. It works by an autoregressive technique, which is a technique I really don't know the technical details. But here you see there is, again, it generates 4 options. This one is not bad. Here it fills the gap. It's okay. I didn't like that. It didn't fill the gap. This one is maybe can be good, or this one bad. So let's say that I like this one. Again, I can download it. So let's see the difference. Yeah, I started, for example, from here. Now you see, I don't have this. Yeah, I have the surrounding. I have the entrance of the building, some people. Yeah, it looks better now. So this is how we make out painting and in painting in Dolly. So I found it really useful. I usually use Dolly for that out painting and in painting. Okay, so again, if we go back with our presentation, yeah, guys, now it's your turn coming. Yeah. Let me close this all windows and open the presentation. Okay, now I want you to combine two words. Okay, guys, two words. Something, it can be something architecture. For example, sleek architecture, aerodynamic architecture, cocoon architecture, fluid architecture. I don't know. Just try to find something creative. So combine two words, or you can combine something house, for example. It doesn't have to be just architecture. It can be cocoon house, geomorphic house, sculptural house, bubblegum house. I don't know. You can think about more things, or you can combine something sculpture like parametric sculpture, aerodynamic sculpture, porous sculpture, or fluid sculpture. So let me open the Discord here in our channel. Also, you can ask your questions here, guys, whenever you like. I'll answer them if you write them. Here we can chat, general chat. Here you can share your Instagram URL. Okay, so we can follow each other, and when we share the work, we can tag each other on Instagram. Yeah, here from the challenges, I'll just copy and paste the challenges like that. Combine two words. Exercise 1. Combine two words. Something architecture. Something house. Something sculpture. I don't know. Something. Euclid. Okay, so this is your first exercise. You can please share your creation in that text channel named Share Your Creation. Okay, and please put it with your prompt. So the challenge is, of course, two words, but you can use enhancer words. Okay, and you can use some words to define the frame, the angle of the image, and so on. So feel free for that. So, okay, sharing your creations. I think 10 minutes is okay for sharing your creations, because then we will go with a bigger exercise, the first challenge. So let's say 10 minutes or 12 minutes. Now it's 15 past 10, my hour in Turkey. So please, let's meet in 15 minutes. Okay?
Can we use challenge channel to work on that?
Melis, I think you're talking about, but I cannot hear you well.
Okay, I'm gonna type it down.
Okay. If you can write, I think it could be better. You can write to question and answer in Discord channel. Okay. Did you write here? Okay. Can we use challenge channel to create them? Yeah, you can use challenges, of course. Maybe it's better because okay, maybe it's a good question. I just forgot about it because I really put that channel for that for challenges. If you want, guys, or not if you want, I think everybody use the challenges channel because I have already invited the Mid Journey bot, so you can use it. So you can see your prompts and creations. Okay, maybe I think it can be like that. But for the second challenge, for the next challenge, everybody can use own Mid Journey bot, then share their creations with the prompts they use because I don't want you to influence from each other when you are writing the prompt. Okay, so 15 minutes, you have 15 minutes. We are going to meet in 15 minutes. I'll drink some water and I will be back here. So if you have any questions, you can ask from questions and answers section. Okay. Okay, guys, I think you need more time for that exercise. Now I'm sharing my screen. I will make comments for each of your creations. I saw something really creative. For example, I like this cotton house. Wow. Let's see who is doing that. Hassan. Cotton house. What's the materials of that? It looks interesting. I also like that airport building, but I think maybe you should try it without that stylization value, because this stylization value is too low. Maybe it's better just not using it and try like that. And for example, did you notice something when you say, for example, generative design architecture, airport building? Sometimes it gives you exterior images, sometimes interior images. So if you don't tell anything with Journey about if you want an exterior or an interior, it interprets itself according to up to it, and it will give sometimes exterior images and sometimes interior images. Also, I like that fluid sure concept. Maybe you can try to spice it up with other words like fluid, parametric, maybe, I don't know, or fluid, futuristic. You can add maybe product photography to your prompt. You can define background. Also this kinetic sculpture concept, I think, can be really interesting, and maybe you can add and try other words. Okay, you can go on creating your concept. By the time, I'll give you a little more tips about Midjourney, and then we'll make some other exercises, some challenges about creating concepts. But let's finish the tutorial, and we can stop live streaming there. Yes, I think all of you can see my screen now. Yeah, okay. My screen is paused. What's that? Okay, stop share. I'll share again. Like that. Okay. Okay, guys, can you see my screen and hear me? I think yes. Let's check. Yes. Okay, great. Okay, guys, for today, some other tips for Midjourney. For example, simulating a camera is a good way to create some photorealistic images. For example, if you see the prompt here, it's a portrait of an American Indian man by Julie Bush, clear facial features, cinematic 35mm lens, f1 to 8, accent lighting, global illumination, portrait photography, and 8K, and goes some parameters like aspect ratio and version. So see, if you know something about photography, about lenses, please use it, because it turns really good most of the time. For example, look at that face, look at that photograph. It really looks like a real photograph taken by a photographer. It's a good portrait photograph, I think. Or again, here I use the same lens, 35mm lens, and I said portrait of a brown-eyed brunette, 20 months old baby boy on an Icelandic beach, and goes same with that. Clear facial features, cinematic, 35mm lens, f1 to 8, accent lighting, global illumination. And here, I told you about the real locations, and you can also see there that I said Icelandic beach. So it gave me a boy with winter clothes, right? Because Icelandic beaches are cold and they're not the beach that people are taking sunbaths, blah, 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 like that. Okay, so there is a question. Somebody asked the question. Let me check that question. Can it identify the lens brands related to their differences in sharpness? I think it can. So I'll just give it a try. For example, I tried Hasselblad camera. It's a brand, and it really simulated Hasselblad camera. So okay, you can see here the effect of the location, effect of the real location. Again, here the same prompt, but now goes with the old baby boy with a big bright smile on an Icelandic beach. Again, you can see here the effect. Again, you can see the effect of the location. Like this guy now wearing a winter jacket, but now this big bright smile also affects that. Look, this photograph was not that funny, but this image is really more funny because I said a big bright smile. So also the smile is bright, but also you can see this effect on the image. Also the sun is bright like that. Or for example, that now I tried the same prompt, but now said that a sad 20-month-old baby boy with a sad expression in the streets of Norway. So again, here you can see the effect of that mood and effect of the location. Because I said sad, I think it portrays me a nice portrait, right? Here you can see some bokeh light. It is nice. Again, because I said Norway, this boy is again wearing a jacket or like that. Also, I tried it lots of times because I said sad, again, it's nice. And I said Norway, the boy is wearing a jacket, again with a hoodie. And this example, for example, here I tried to mix the decay. I said a portrait of a woman wearing Renaissance style garments with millennium pink beads wireless headphones in a Baroque dining room, 35 millimeters lens, f1:8 accent lighting, global illumination. But now I use a different stylization value. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell you about more these parameters. So ignore the parameters now. But you can see that there are some headphones, okay, and the woman is in Renaissance style garments, and also it's okay. But the wireless headphones are not pink, yeah, and clearly they're not Beats. They're not Beats brand. Instead, the garments of the woman are pink. But again, I think it's really a successful image because it achieves to generate a coherence between different decades. The room is Baroque. The woman looks like a Renaissance woman, and she has some wireless headphones, and I think it's really good. Yeah. Also, remember this. I have shown you an example and another output of that prompt. Here, this is an archigram building. I said complex exterior made from translucent and inflated latex membranes, but there is no latex membrane, right? Because if you can see, there are some double columns. It's because of that. Again, I will tomorrow explain about that. But here, look, I said analog photography and Hasselblad camera. If you look at image, this analog photography and Hasselblad camera didn't affect only the visual style of the image, but also the image itself. What I mean? I mean that if you can see, that building looks like it's from 80s, right? It's It's somewhere in Soviet Union, 80s, because also look at the cars, right? There are the cars of the 80s, 1980s. Also, the shape of the building, the style of the building resembles the brutalist buildings of the Soviet Union of the 80s. So these words in your prompt are, they have more effects just affecting the style. They affect the content itself. Yeah, and also invoking a photographer is also important. If I just say a biomorphic house, Midjourney generates these images, for example, right? You can see here, it's the house, yes, it's the biomorphic, yes, it's true. But if I said a biometric house architectural photography by Ezra Stoller, it completely changed. You can see first, Ezra Stoller is an American photographer that I think in the 60s, he shot a lot of modernist buildings in America. And here from the output, you can understand that he was using black and white technique, but not only the black and white or color is changing. Here you can see the form completely changed, right? This form and this form, or this form and this form are not the same, because here that Midjourney is also taking something from Ezra Stoller, and as Ezra Stoller took the photographs of modernist buildings, here the biomorphic house resembles a modernist building. It still has some biomorphic features, but also has some modernist features. Or if I said a biomorphic house architectural photography by Helena Binet, for example, and she's I think, if I'm not wrong, she's a French photographer, and she takes photographs of, for example, Peter Zumthor buildings, Zaha Hadid buildings. You can check from the internet. Here again, look, it's dramatically changed. Here, for example, you don't see any color composition. It's just like a green surrounding and a blue sky. But here you can see how the color scheme is changed, and also the form of the building. So this is why, because the photographs Helena Binet took, and they are shared on the internet. So it's a good way to influence and change your output. And yeah, guys, for today's tutorials are done. That is all. So let's go on with challenge 1, because it is connected to exercise 1. I want you to combine unlikely candidates, like you combine 2 different words and create an architectural concept. So if you like your prompt in the exercise 1, still you can stick to them, or if you want, you can change them. It's up to you. But there are some points that I want to warn you. The first, please avoid traditional combinations, such as Art Nouveau architecture or surrealistic painting. So don't go with traditional combinations, and try to find something controversial, interesting, unusual. You can combine different styles, combine some artists and architects with different styles. You can try to use unusual building materials or creating controversial context, like, for example, an ice building in Sahara. I don't know. It was just an example. So try to find something really interesting or unusual, and please edit your prompt until you see an output you like. So don't stick with just writing the prompt one time. You can edit your prompt, and also you can try to see the how your words affect the prompt, And don't forget to make rerolls and b-rolls. And lastly, upscale the images you like. Here is an example, for example, my bubblegum house, but it has a longer prompt that then. So you can use all the information you learned until now, like, I don't know, invoking a photographer, defining the light, defining the form, the volume. Okay, so let's try to combine unlikely candidates and try to find something interesting, something unusual. So, okay, let's start with our challenge. If you have any questions, again, you can ask anytime you like. I'm here on the computer. Also, on the Discord channel, in the challenges, you are creating in the challenges. And here I'm making some comments to your creation. And after we finish our challenges today, we can make an altogether evaluation. Okay, so now I'm stopping to share my screen. And okay, I'm ending the live stream. And on the challenges text channel, we can go on with the challenge, guys. Okay, so ask your questions by writing.